Welcome back, my speaking podcast fan. This is your boy Doc Saludero, St. T. South Carolina Finest, Armberg County on. We're back again with a special guest. He and always at this time of the year, he always give us his time out of his busy schedule. He didn't have to do it, but he did, and we really appreciate it. But I'm gonna go ahead and give the floor to my homeboy Mike over there, so he can go ahead and say
I'm
what he
gonna
got
just
to say.
I'm gonna just say I'm Mike, man, and I just want to say I'm gracious. Words can't express how much Mr. Eugene blessing us with this draft update before the draft, pre-draft, and for everybody out there, he's about to fly to Green Bay to be down there for the festivities. So for him to take his time out to be with us, we want to say thank you, man. So appreciate it. So we're not gonna hold you. We're gonna jump right in,
Okay,
and
cool.
there you go. That's the first question, man.
Well, we'll go ahead. We're just gonna give the floor to you, Mr. Eugene. In this upcoming draft. As far as the Carolina Panthers side, since we over here in Charlotte, what do you think the Carolina Panthers need to pick in this year's draft to help build up the team, help fortify the foundation that they already started?
Okay, so we know that the Carolina Panthers, their offense did so much better towards the end of the season. And
Yeah,
primarily I think it's because the offensive
yeah,
line remained intact. And so I thought that Dan Morgan, I thought one of his things he's going to have to focus on was the defense. When we were third down percentage woeful and in in rushing yardage
mm-hmm.
woeful. I mean, we couldn't stop anybody and we couldn't stop them on third down. Yeah, we got
Okay,
some sacks. Yeah, we got some things. However, the proof is in the pudding. A third down percentage, we were very, very terrible. We couldn't stop anybody. And so I thought that Dan Morgan, moving forward, is going to have to focus on the defense. He's already addressed
mm-hmm.
that in free agency.
Okay,
Two big signings. One with the young man from the Rams who came here at the D
yeah,
line.
Bobby
Don't
Brown.
forget we get Derek Brown back. DJ
okay,
Mm-hmm.
Wana, who I think is a sleeper and is still really played well at the end of the season. He's that
mm-hmm.
edge
Mm-hmm.
rusher. So what are we lacking? I think it comes down to a linebacker. I think it comes down
Mm-hmm.
to we've always had dogs at linebacker.
Yeah,
If we go back to Dan Morgan, John Beeson, Luke Kuechly, there's always been a
Mm-hmm.
dog at the linebacker spizza. And the
mm-hmm.
fact that we struggled, Shaq got hurt. We had
Yeah,
Wallace in there, Josie Jules in there. We had a number of rotating parts, but nothing that was solidified. I think in
mm-hmm.
this draft, you got to find that cat. You got to
Okay,
find that dude. And so when I look at the draft, Walker keeps coming to my mind.
mm-hmm.
The kid out of Georgia. He's out of Georgia,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Out of Georgia. Sometimes I
Yeah,
get confused.
mm-hmm.
He comes to mind because he reminds me of Micah Parsons. He's an
Mm-hmm.
edge rusher, but he also can play in the. He could play all over, and he played all over. And really, he got some nice skills with his hands and snap. Now
Mm-hmm.
I understand the the offensive tackles are massive in the NFL. But there's something
Mm-hmm.
about him that I like. I think he has a fire underneath him. He gets after
Mm-hmm.
it. Now, his numbers weren't super duper crazy, but they
Yeah,
weren't low either. So I think he's
mm-hmm.
one of the potential. And then I saw a video on him just working out. And I know it's just a video working out, but when I couple that with
Yeah,
what he's already done, I'm like, this dude is explosive. This dude
mm-hmm.
runs more like a safety
Mm-hmm.
playing linebacker, playing defensive
Mm-hmm.
end. He has that type of skill level. His feet,
Mm-hmm.
they were able to get down and switch and turn direction. His hips, then
Mm-hmm.
that's Micah Parsons.
Yeah.
And he
Mm-hmm.
has that strength. That's Micah Parsons. So from that
Mm-hmm.
standpoint, he would be one of my first picks there. If he's not there, there's a guy that I like out of
Mm-hmm.
UCLA, and that's
Mm-hmm.
Schwarzinger.
Okay.
Dude, he had he had 136 tackles,
Mm-hmm.
like 11 and a half tackle, no, 11 and a half sacks. He had like seven
Mm-hmm.
tackle for losses. He
Mm-hmm.
had maybe two, maybe three interceptions. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
two.
Mm-hmm.
He was ubiquitous. He was all over the place.
Yeah.
And now he's not that super duper size. He's not 6'2", 245, 250.
Yeah.
All right. But he plays like it.
Gotcha.
he plays like that. So I think,
Mm-hmm.
and if I can give a quick shout out, Luke Kuechly also likes this
Mm-hmm.
young man.
Okay.
So
Okay.
he comes to mind. All right. So when I'm
Mm-hmm.
hmm
thinking about what the Carolina Panthers need to do, I'm looking for a backer because I can find a safety in the draft. I can find a
Mm-hmm.
corner in the draft. I can find a
Mm-hmm.
receiver in the draft. I
Yeah.
need a linebacker. And I think there's enough linebackers out there that you can go and cast your line and
But you
say,
got
I
to get
want this guy
that
right
good
here,
linebacker in the
or
draft
that
that you
slash
need.
edge rushers. But it has to be
Mm-hmm.
defense. I don't think that we go receiver. I think that the
Okay.
receivers are already on your squad. I think Coker and Leggett, I think he's going to get better, but I think the sleeper is Coker. I think I lost
Yeah,
y'all,
he's
dog.
reconnected.
We good?
No,
Yeah,
you back on. You good?
yeah. So
You
I think the
good?
sleeper on the team is Coker. So before we get into that, if we just look at where I'm thinking, I think that Dan Morgan, and I know him as Demo. I don't know. They know him as Dan Morgan because he's a GM. I know him
Mm-hmm.
as a ball player. I know him as a middle linebacker. I know him
Mm-hmm.
as a dog. I know him as a
Mm-hmm.
guy who's making the calls up front and know where he has to shift the defense because the defense is weak because maybe that cat over here ain't pulling his weight. And maybe I got to
Mm-hmm.
switch some things. There's something about playing the game and and at that level and being in a position where you become the quarterback of the defense that gives
Mm-hmm.
you the right to speak into somebody's life and the right to evaluate someone's talent because you're always doing it. You're always doing it, particularly from that position. That's what he brings to
Yeah.
the table. So he's going to tip his hand. If he moves anywhere defensively, and I think he's going to move that way, he's going to tip his hand because he's saying, I got to get this defense back on track. Because
Well, let me ask
third down
you
percentage
just
is
a
not
quick
good enough,
question.
and third and rushing yards is been woeful.
This is a quick question I got for you then. Every sign is saying Jalen Walker. He's from Salisbury area.
Yep.
Everybody's pretty much in it. But this is what I guess, this is what I want you to give us as your expertise with playing, win the Super Bowl, being inside the locker room. Why did Dan Morgan come out and say we are open for business for the eighth spot? If that's who you want, why would you be open for that? Or is it just they playing mind games? Is that a part of it? I'm trying to figure out why, if you want Walker, they want Walker. Why would you move from the eighth spot? I know you want more draft capital, but if you're not going to be able to get him at 21 or back in the back end. So this is what I want to know from you, being the inside. Why would they come out and say the eight pick is up for grabs?
Mm-hmm.
Call me and talk about it. This is what I want to know from you.
Okay, so the reason why you would say the eighth pick is up the draft because up for grabs is because you've identified not only Walker, but you've identified a number of guys who
Yep.
will be available and who.
Yep.
Okay, let me just say this about the safeties. There's a lot of good safeties in there. There's Emma Worry, who from South Carolina. There's Nick Watts
South
from
Carolina,
Notre
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Dame. There's Mukaba from Texas. There's a number of guys who are
Mm-hmm.
really, really good. You know that those safeties are going to be around the second round. Maybe one of those
Yep.
guys may go in the first round. And
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
and all of them first rounders I just named. But maybe one may
Yeah.
go. So now what are you sitting there? If you had your bets and you go ahead and pick up, trade a spot, move down or move
Mm-hmm.
back if you want, however you want to say, get a
Yeah.
25 pick or whatever it may be, and you still have another pick that's coming right off the heels of that,
Yeah.
dude, you're gonna go ahead and get two first round cats.
Round picks. Yeah.
Got it. I got
That's what you're gonna
Yeah.
go ahead and do. And let me say something
it.
about
Got
the
Mm-hmm.
it.
safeties there. Emma Worry, Mukaba, and Watts. Watts has
Yep.
7 picks the year before, 6 picks this year. Your
Mm-hmm.
boy Emma Worry has 5 picks this year. He's 6'2", 236.
Yeah, big
He's a
Mm-hmm.
dude.
big dude.
Yeah.
South
He's
Carolina,
huge,
yeah.
and
He's a freak.
he got crazy speed.
He a
Mm-hmm.
freak. Yeah.
So if you got in the later rounds and you give up a spot in the later rounds, you know that he's not projected to go. He's projected to go at the very end of the draft. I mean, the very end of the
Mm-hmm.
first
Mm-hmm.
round. So now, what does
Yeah.
that
Mm-hmm.
mean? If the Panthers sitting there, oh, hold up, wait a minute, I can go ahead and get this cat right here, and it still may be a
Mm-hmm.
DN or a
Yep.
linebacker ready, because
Yep.
this is a heavy class of safeties, linebackers, and edge rushers. So now
Yep.
you D
Mm-hmm.
Mo, you sitting back there in the cut, and you go like this. Yeah. Okay, all right. I can go ahead and do some stuff. Don't forget, we gave. What were people saying we gave when we let DJ Moore go at the receiver spot, right? Hey, we got no more
Mm-hmm.
receivers. We let him go. You let him
Mm-hmm.
go for Bryce. Oh, we giving away everything, giving away the farm just to get Bryce. So
Mm-hmm.
now, what is Demo thinking? It's up for
You got recruit.
grabs. Because guess
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
what? This draft has so much capital, so much currency, and there's so many spots I can go. If I get me a safety, I'm good. If I get me a linebacker, I'm good. If I get me an edge rusher, I'm good. Because guess what? One of those cats are going to be there.
Yeah.
They're gonna every. I'm seeing offensive tackles getting picked. I'm seeing running backs getting picked. I'm seeing receivers
Mm-hmm.
getting picked. I'm seeing
Yep.
quarterbacks getting picked. I see a couple of edge rushers get picked, but there's a whole
Mm-hmm.
bunch of them.
Yep.
There's a whole bunch of guys. So to your point, Mike, is that dude, you can hedge your bets and say if we move back in the draft, give away this capital, and we steal somebody, and then we got another
Mm-hmm.
pick right away, and we steal another cat. That's
I
two
see
for
what
the
you're saying.
price of one, dude. And
Yep. Two for
you
five.
giving the fans what they want. You're saying, hold up, dude, you got two number ones? Basically,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
because it's going to be a lot of number one people who are not going to get picked who should have got picked at number
First
one.
round. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And then I wanna I don't know if Dara got a chance to look at this. I don't think I even talked to him about it. I
Uh-huh.
saw you over the weekend. I saw Mr. Eugene talking to somebody in the Panthers organization over the weekend. You were talking about the men and their hearts. Basically, which I'm paraphrasing what you were saying. You can draft all these guys you want, but you don't know what's inside their chest.
That's right.
You don't know
Mm-hmm.
what kind of dog they got. So by you saying that, you get to take all these guys, but you don't know what's in here. So
Mm-hmm.
I want you to elaborate a little bit and tell us what you were speaking about until you don't know. You can draft anybody first or the seventh round. You don't like you was an undrafted free agent. So you had dog in you. Everybody ain't got dog in you. You can be the first pick. You might not have no dog in you. You might have a seventh round pick gonna come out and ball out. I want you to
Mm-hmm.
speak to like Jalen Coker is a prime example of what I'm talking about. He was undrafted, but I think that kid's a sleeper. I really believe he's a sleeper.
Okay, so to your point, this is to your point, and it's a great point. Terrell Davis and and Tom Brady have something in common. Deacon Jones and Terry Bradshaw. Terry Bradshaw was in the 14th round pick. Deacon Jones was a 17th round pick.
Mm-hmm.
Your boy Terrell Davis was a 6th round draft pick,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
and and then Tom Brady. All of
Mm-hmm.
whom I just named. You tell me there's no dogs in there. You can't
All
measure
of them,
in their
dog.
heart. You
All
don't know
dogs.
what's in the dudes. You don't know what a dude is made of. I've
Yep.
seen plenty of guys who are top guys. You say, oh man, you gotta get that cat right there. He's
Mm-hmm.
gonna be a
Mm-hmm.
beast, man. He's gonna be a beast. Yeah, he got numbers, he got stuff. Dude, when it comes down to playing, I'll look a man in the eye and I'll smack you in the mouth legally.
Yep. And that's what I
Because
need.
that's
That's
the
what
way
we
the
need.
game's supposed to be played.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All
it's
right?
supposed to be. Yes, sir.
And
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to run hard. I'm going to work. I'm going to work. I'm going to know the academics of football. I'm going to know
Mm-hmm.
where you fit, I fit, where everybody's fit. And then guess what? I'm going to go get it. I'm going to go get it because I want it. I want it. I want to prove to you that, hey, you missed out and you messed up. I should have been one of your cats. But since I ain't one of your
Mm-hmm.
guys, let me prove to you that one of your guys ain't your guy and I should be the guy. Because you don't know what God has put in me and you don't know what's in my heart.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know. I had people on a football field that I kicked off the field because they faking an injury because it's 3rd down and 5. You got Warren
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Moon, they're coming up, and he got he got them 3 great receivers, those 3 amigo
Yep.
receivers.
Yep.
He got them receivers, and guess what? We got to stop him. And I got my
Yeah.
best corner faking an injury because he don't want to be there. He's the fastest dude on our team. He's got
Mm-hmm.
the beast. I ain't gonna tell you his name. I grabbed
Mm-hmm.
him by his shirt and said, yo, you got to go. Get off the field, man. And I asked the other dude, I'll call him Mel, Mel, come over to the
Mm-hmm.
game. He said, what? I need you. We came in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Mel is a dog. We stopped him 3rd down, got the ball turned over. Boom, we win the game. Now,
Mm-hmm.
my
Mm.
man could have been a big part of that, but guess what? He was scared, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he checked out on y'all.
But if you saw this cat, you go like this. Oh, I want him. I want this dude on my team. I don't go
Mm-hmm.
by
Mm-hmm.
none of that crap, dude. I don't go by
Yeah.
Yeah.
none of that. Who wants him on the team? This, that. I'll find out in training camp. I'm gonna find
Mm-hmm.
out what you made of. I'm gonna find
Yeah.
out what's
Like
the
Jalen
meta.
Walker.
You know,
Like
that's why I
Jalen
like
Walker.
Christian
Jalen
McCaffrey.
Walker.
Christian
Yep.
McCaffrey is a dog.
Yep.
Christian McCaffrey is a dog. That dude right there
Mm-hmm.
is a beast, man. And I
Yep.
said to him one time, I said, dude, I bet you get that reverse discrimination because people don't think that you should be as
Yeah.
good as you are, but you're a beast.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
Yeah.
said, dude, you're a beast. You show up,
Yeah.
you're a beast.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, this cat will possibly be in the Hall of Fame one day. That dude is
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
that good. All
Yeah,
Oh
right,
he's
yeah.
but
that
guess what?
good.
If
Oh
you
yeah.
look at him, oh man, he shouldn't be like
Yeah.
that. They said the
Yeah.
Yep.
same thing
Yeah.
about Larry Bird. Oh, he's too
Yeah.
small,
Yep.
man. Listen,
Yeah.
dude,
Yep.
Larry Bird
Yeah.
cooking cats, dude. He cooking.
You
Exactly.
So
can't go
I
by
don't
the skin.
go. I don't go by what's on the outside. The Bible
Yeah.
says
Mm-hmm.
there that man looks at the outward appearance, but God looks at the heart.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
here it is. I don't care. I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Now, yes, there are some measurables. Yes, you got to run fast. Yes, you got to be strong. Yes, you got to know
Mm-hmm.
that. But when it comes down to it, it's me against you.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And what am I going to do? All right, D. All right, I got to go against the dark side. I got to go against him.
Mm-hmm.
What am I got to phone it in? No. I'm going to go against him. And if he
Mm-hmm.
beat me again. If he
Gotcha.
beat me again. So that's what Dan Morgan said. This is what Dan Morgan is getting to the heart of. He's saying,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I need them cats like that. I want you to have the great physical tools. I want you to be able to run. I want you to be able to that. But when it comes down to it, I want your to be more than what everybody else want to is. Because if your
Yeah.
want to is
Exactly.
like that, you are going to be a great player.
Yeah.
Exactly. Let me ask you this question, Mr. Robinson. The draft overall, you know what I'm saying? You got it's a lot of every time it gets closer to the draft, you always hearing these little reports or these little naysayers or these little what people always nitpicking people. They always be nitpicking at certain things about the Shador Sanders situation, him being the quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't. You don't got all the measurables on tape. You don't seen the tape. Why is it that they're all this? It seems like certain people
Before
are
coming
just
to the draft.
nitpicking.
Yep.
Yeah, nitpicking him on every little thing.
Because that's what we do in media. The media nitpicks every little thing because one, not only it sells what's the name, but they can't look like they gotta play the devil's advocate, all this sort
Yeah,
of stuff. Now I'm with you, D. Here it is. The dude's percentage is 74 percentage.
exactly.
And dude, he got 37 touchdowns, maybe 40,
Yeah.
Yes.
37. Dude, he
Yeah.
has
Mm-hmm.
like 7, 8 interceptions. His numbers
Mm-hmm.
are insane. So if you want to
Yeah.
know what he's done, the past is prologue. The past you can tell by the past. Look at what he's already done. Because
Done.
Mm-hmm.
guess what? You did that with Joe Burrows. You
Yep.
did that with old boy was that Clemson with the
Trevor
long
Lawrence.
hair?
Trevor
The
Lawrence.
dude with
Yeah.
the
Trevor
Trevor
long
Lawrence.
hair?
Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence. Yep.
Trevor
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 Lawrence.
Lawrence.
Lawrence. I don't
Yep.
like him. I think
Yep.
he's a beast. But you've done that with
Mm-hmm.
every other look, dude. The, you got to look at the person's numbers. Now, if he wasn't a pocket quarterback, I think he's a pocket quarterback who can
Yeah.
actually run.
Mm-hmm.
And I think
Yep.
his vision is incredible.
Yep.
I don't care that he has a strong arm. Drew Brees didn't have a strong arm.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Drew Brees just
He's
had great
accurate.
timing and
Yep.
Yep.
threw people open. So here
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
it is. You got somebody who can't play, who don't know how to play that
Mm-hmm.
quarterback position from that level,
Mm-hmm.
giving him instructions of how to go ahead and play quarterback and what he can and cannot do. Now think about that,
Now.
dude. I want you to think about that. I know
Uh-huh.
nothing about Mike and what you do with the mail. I just see
Mm-hmm.
you. I
Yeah.
just
Yep.
think, yeah, he just, he's just there.
Yeah.
But I bet
Mm-hmm.
you there's a lot of stuff that's behind the scenes that I have
Yep.
absolutely nothing that I
No
know about
idea.
Dark Side. I don't even
Yep.
know.
Mm-hmm.
I take
Exactly.
it
Yep.
for granted. I take it for granted that you do your job so well that, oh,
Mm-hmm.
I could do that. No,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
because there's
No.
nuances and there's things and characteristics, things that you do in a job that I have no idea because I'm looking
Exactly.
from
Exactly.
afar. But when I step in your shoes, I go, oh, wait a minute. Oh, hold on. I need to go this route because it's okay. How do I avoid the traffic?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wait a minute now.
Yeah.
I didn't know all this stuff had to come with it. What's going on with this? So
Now.
we got people jumping in. Tell me about. Shador and what Shador can do and all that stuff, and I'm going like this, dude, you don't play quarterback. Look, I'm a
Exactly.
defensive back. I study quarterbacks for a living.
Mm-hmm.
I know what I see with Elway. I know what I see
Mm-hmm.
with Montana. I know what I've seen with Dan Marino. I my job, Elway. My job, Warren Moon, is to study quarterback. All of whom I just
Mm-hmm.
mentioned are Hall of Fame quarterbacks.
Hall of
I
Yeah,
Fame.
got their helmets,
yeah,
by the way. Just to let you know,
yeah.
I
Mm.
got them to sign a helmet from me and say,
Mm-hmm.
"Hey, man, hey, thanks. I want you to sign a helmet because
Mm-hmm.
that's what I think about you because I know how good
Mhm.
they are." All right.
Yeah.
But I studied for a
Mm-hmm.
living. This dude's vision is crazy vision. He got crazy guts. And he's able to stand in the pocket and deliver
Yep.
the ball with accuracy,
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
74%. Dude, and what we have never even explored is, dude, if he really wanted to run, if he really wanted to run, could he be
Yeah.
as good as Baker Mayfield?
Yeah.
Could he be as
Uh,
good as Baker Mayfield? I'm not going to put
Yeah.
him up
uh,
against Lamar, and I'm not putting him against
Yeah.
Cam Newton because those are anomalies. Those dudes are
Yeah.
like,
yeah,
okay,
he
Randall
can
Cunningham,
move. He can
He can
move.
something
move.
different.
Yeah.
He can move.
However, with the
He can
starting
extend
quarterbacks
plays.
that we have, if he decided to run, could he be more like a Roethlisberger? I mean, he's not big like that, but he was
Yeah.
maneuverable. Could he? What
Yep.
could he do if he even decides that he's going to make that a part of his game? Because if he
Mm-hmm.
does,
Exactly.
he's going to become even more dangerous. He would be
Yep.
more like to your boy who was in the Seattle Seahawks. Then he went to Denver. Then he went to the Pittsburgh
Oh,
Steelers.
Wilson. I mean,
Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson. Yeah.
Russell
Yeah.
Wilson. Yeah.
Yeah.
Russell
Yeah.
Wilson. He would be a lot like Russell Wilson, who's
Yeah.
able
Yeah.
to go ahead if he decides to run. He's
He
a
can run.
problem. He's a
Yeah. Yeah.
problem.
He
But he's running
extend the
instead
Now,
of the
play.
ball.
Yep.
it's another question I want to ask you.
Go ahead,
This
bro.
guy out of Arizona, I don't know this guy from Adam and Eve. This Tech McMillan guy, the receiver. I listen to what you always say because you play the game, like you said, like Dan Morgan played. I listen to Steve Smith a lot when it comes to receivers. He said he wouldn't touch him. But then I heard this young man say that he don't even watch tape. He don't even study. So I'm saying to myself, they had this guy this high. But
Mm-hmm.
when I watched the tape of him, and I've been watching this, I've been studying this guy because it was a possibility at the beginning when they said we need a number one receiver. I'm like, please don't
Mm-hmm.
take this guy. Why would you touch somebody that tell you up front, say, hey, I don't really watch a lot of tape. He's a one trick pony. You throw the ball up in the air. Haven't we
Mm-hmm.
seen that in a la Kelvin Benjamin? Haven't we seen that with Dwayne Jarrett here? Haven't we seen that with
Mm-hmm.
other guys? Stay away from me. I'm gonna tell you the receiver. If I had a chance to move back and get somebody, Golden, the guy from Texas with the speed, we do
Yeah.
need a speed receiver. I do believe that because Leggett and Coca, Leggett is fast, but Leggett to me is a body catcher, which scares me.
Yeah.
He has to learn how to catch with his hands. I'm not saying he cannot catch, but he's a body catcher. Now Coca is a hand. You can tell Coca
Yep.
catches with his hands,
Yep.
but we need a speed guy to take the top off. So I wouldn't touch that guy from Arizona to save my life. Now Matthew Golden, I would. His Bond, his teammate, is in some kind of legal situation, but those two guys I would take in the minute before I take Tech. What do you believe by that? What do you think about
Yeah.
that? What I said is
Okay.
this guy
Because
said he don't watch tape.
here it is. First of all, let me go. Let me answer first what you kind of ended up with here. You talking about a
Mm-hmm.
speed guy. The speed guy that comes to mind for me is Ted Ginn. Ted
Yep.
Ginn was able to take the top off of every
Mm-hmm.
defense.
Yeah.
Yep.
If you got a dude that's that fast, Cook, who played for the Saints and then he went to a couple,
Yep.
he's
Yep.
like that.
Yep.
Yep. Yep.
Worthy, who plays for Kansas City,
Kansas City.
Kansas City. Yep.
he's got
Mm-hmm.
that speed. Every defensive back, you got to respect it. You got to respect it because don't forget we run
Mm-hmm.
backwards. They're running forwards.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and if you don't turn, dude, he's gonna take the top off. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so your point is well taken. I'm gonna take a guy more a speedster to take the top off to make a Coker, a Leggett, a Thielen even more valuable.
Yep.
That's the
Yep.
first thing.
Yep.
Now, let me
Mm-hmm.
go
Yep.
back to the first thing you said about a guy who says, "Hey, I really don't study. Let's throw the ball up. I'm gonna go ahead and eat and
Mm-hmm.
Randy Moss you all day."
Mm-hmm.
Here's the problem with that, dude. Football is an academic game. It's about the X's and O's and knowing where to be at and where you should be at on a certain play, where you should be on a certain break, or when you in a route, when you should shut down the route because you're about to move into a zone, or the man you
Mm-hmm.
need to put on, or when it's double team, when you should go ahead
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and attack one guy, attack another guy. How do you attack
Mm-hmm.
him inside out if you're going to inside? All that stuff. So all the nuances of what you need to know, and then not only the plays, and when they change the plays and stuff, you can't be sitting there going, "Hold up, okay, what do I should be running now?" You should know that because guess what? As good as you are, you're just now an athlete. What
Mm-hmm.
makes you a great football player is the academics of football, and you happen to be
Yeah.
a great athlete because now your 4-3 just became a 4 flat. Your four
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
seven just became a 4-4 because
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
you know where the ball is going defensively
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
or offensively. You know where to be at, where the people are going to
Mm-hmm.
be at. It's the academics of football. And if you got a big heart, yeah, you go at it. So I don't know what it's in his heart. He could, but I'm going to tell this young man, dude, you better study and you better make sure that you dive into the books because if you don't, you won't be around very long. You're
Long.
gonna
No,
have a
yeah,
small
not for
career.
long.
And what happens
That's,
when you get hurt? And
that's
what do
it.
you
Yep.
And the
and
NFL
what
thing. Mm-hmm.
and Mike, what and Doc, now what happens this that all the other people you just told that all that stuff that you doing right now don't matter.
It
Studying
don't.
Mm.
does not matter. It doesn't
It don't.
matter. When every coach that we have and every coaching staff, all they do is watch film and they predicate what they're going to do based on what you're doing. So they're watching
Yep.
Exactly.
film based on what you're doing. And you mean to tell
Mm-hmm.
me that you don't want to join the party? And that? You don't
Mm.
want to join the party? Then guess what?
I didn't. I
Yeah.
You're
didn't
going to be
understand.
left behind.
I did when
Yeah.
I heard it. I didn't understand it, and then I heard something today. I want to let both of y'all know the speech out of Detroit. Jameson on the other side of they say Detroit is putting him up for trade. Number
Hold
9.
on. Oh,
He's
yeah,
on
you
the
talking about
opposite side
the
Oh,
of
the
kid,
wide receiver?
yeah, from Alabama.
James? Yeah.
Jameson.
He just,
So now this is something I'm hearing. They're saying the Panthers should jump all over that. They said that Detroit want a second or third round pick for him. He's a
hold on,
speedster. He's only 24,
Detroit
25.
want to do a what type pick for him? Say again?
Detroit won a second or third round pick for him, and they were saying Carolina Panthers be the perfect person because he's still only 25, I think, if I'm mistaken. He's still young, and he already done been in the league, and he's a speedster. Would you rather take a flyer on somebody like that or a kid coming out of college you don't know about?
I would like to take a guy who's already been in the league and who's been
Yeah.
running
Exactly.
and already
Yeah.
been indoctrinated into a system. And if he's a
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
speedster, here's the fact. This is what should happen to a guy who can be misplaced and misdiagnosed. This
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
this kid from Detroit. All right, you weren't used maybe the way you should have been used, and you didn't eat the way you should have eaten, and now you get another chance to go to a different team and become a guy where a team don't have a guy.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm looking at that. If I'm looking at my age, I'm going like this. Oh, I'm about to bum rush that spot. Here was a
Mm-hmm.
problem we
Mm-hmm.
had 2 years ago with the receivers, right? We had DJ, we had um, Thielen, we had the kid who
Mm-hmm.
got into the that we kicked off the team and sent them to the
To
the
Chicago.
what was that kid's name?
No, he talking about dude from the Cowboys. He from Mississippi.
Oh, okay,
You from
okay.
Ole Miss, the one we took in the second round, and everybody kept saying he's gonna be a nice little player, and they
Yeah.
Yeah,
man.
yeah. So we had a number of players, right? Receivers that were always kind of like in the same boat to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Nobody wanted to take the reins. Nobody wanted to take the reins. I'm sitting there going, dude, I'm a
Mm-hmm.
free agent, dude. I looked and saw where I could fit in going, man, I need to go ahead and beat these cats out.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I ain't gonna beat the starter out. Boom. Because he's a starter. I'm a free agent.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta work my butt on special teams. I gotta go ahead and make an impact.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I made an impact, then I'm like, man, if I get in there, you got to show out. I got to show
Yeah.
out. Got in
Mm-hmm.
there, I got to show out. Even when I got traded to the Green Bay Packers, they don't know me. None of those guys know me. I'm an old guy. I'm 31, but 11 years in the league. I'm old, dude. And
Mm-hmm.
they got Leroy Butler. They
Yep.
got a lot of dudes that said they know nothing about me. First time
Mm-hmm.
we
Yep.
had a live, the first time we had a live practice, I dropped about 2 dudes, bow, bow. And I looked around and said, okay, now y'all know me.
Yeah.
Now,
And
now,
your
now,
presence
now,
on.
now y'all know. And I said,
Mm-hmm.
And your presence
and I
on.
told him this. I said, what I do is I get people lined up, I get you in the right position. If I tell you what we're running, if I change the defense, make sure you listen to me. I said, and I'm gonna get interceptions. And I'm gonna make tackles. If you don't make the tackle, I'm gonna make the tackle.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I said, believe that. I said, I know y'all don't know me. I said, but believe that. I might end up
Mm.
that year, my first year in Green Bay, even if I count the play for a total of 8 interceptions, I had like
Mm.
maybe
You,
81, 90,
you know where to
81,
be at.
85
Yep.
tackles, and then like maybe 3 or 4 forced fumbles.
Mm-hmm.
Dude,
Yep.
dude, I was balling out.
Yeah.
I was balling out, but I got another opportunity to be that guy. All right, I'm gonna be that guy. And then when I went to Atlanta, I'm like, I got an opportunity to be that guy.
Mm-hmm.
It's an opportunity when we look at the receivers here at the Carolina Panthers. It's wide open for somebody to come and
Open.
say, "I'm the
Yep.
man." Now here it is. Here's the ironic part of all that. Every every one of these guys we mentioned, every one of them we've mentioned all for the last couple of years who played receiver. All right, I don't know all the names, but they're all kind of the same guy. They were the best at their high school and the best at college, and they thought that way. They thought there was nobody
Yep.
better than in high school, nobody better than college. And somehow, when they got to the pros, they don't think that way. And
Yep.
I'm
Mm.
sitting there going, "What has changed, dude?
Mm-hmm.
But that's why
I
I
think
like
I'm better
Coca
than
because
you. Let me eat."
that's why I like Coco because you being undrafted, you should the way he played. There's nowhere in the world you can tell me he's not in the 7 rounds he could have got drafted. He
Yeah.
played and tried to show them I'm that guy. The play he made
Yep.
against Dallas showed me something. He got speed. I didn't know he had
Mm-hmm.
that kind of speed. I was like, whoa, whoa. He took that 70 something 80 yards. I'm like, wow. So
Mm-hmm.
if they can get Leggett hands to be, I'm not saying like Thielen, because Thielen's a veteran, but he needs
Yeah.
to learn how to catch out here instead of
Use
catching
his
in here.
hand.
He got to
Yeah.
use his hands. That's the only thing scary about him. He can be because the Philadelphia game, Lord knows that replays in my mind over and over and over. If you run through it instead of diving, that was a touchdown. You didn't have no reason to dive. If you touch your hand, it
Mm-hmm.
was a touchdown. But like I say, neither here or there. But me and Darryl both know you got somewhere to go,
Mm-hmm.
and we're gonna tell our fans you going to Green Bay. You got to catch a flight tomorrow for the draft.
Mm-hmm.
The last words I want to say again, I want to give you flowers while you're here because you
Yep.
don't have to take the time out to be on our podcast. As a former athlete, a Super Bowl champion, for you to take the time out just for this little podcast, you know how much it means to me, it means the world to me. For you
Yeah,
to take the
exactly.
time
Me
out
too.
before the day for the draft, you go on to Green Bay and you take the time out to get with us. You're giving our fans the insight of NBA, NFL draft, what's going on
Mm-hmm.
in and out. So like I said, I want to say for me personally, thank you so much. This is my lifelong dream to be an analyst, and you helping me try to become that. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much, Mr. G. But like I said, Darren, you got any parting words?
I want to tell them thank you too. Really appreciate your time, man. Thank you for even just like I said, just getting on our podcast and then speaking with us and knowing how you are. You're humble. You're very forthcoming. You know what I'm saying? You're God blessed. You know, definitely want to thank you, man. We appreciate you, man.
Now
With
you
the
know I'm be
utmost
texting you
respect,
when you get
thank
there.
you.
You know
No,
I'm be
no,
texting you all weekend before you, because I'm be like, at the draft get there. Listen, when I say I could, Darren don't know this. Me and Mr. Eugene text the other day for about an hour and a half, just going back and
I
forth.
know you are. We
I
just
can
go back and
literally, I
forth.
can literally do this. I can literally do this all day from 6 o'clock in the morning to 10 o'clock at night. I can talk sports. This is the time of year that makes me. If I was a prospect, this is when I'm trying to work. The way I try to work on this podcast is the way I'd
Yeah,
be working in that stadium if I had the
Yeah,
opportunity to play football.
yeah.
I'm going in and I'm gonna be there 5 o'clock in the morning working out before the guys even get in the stadium. This is the
Mm-hmm.
mentality that you have to have as a player. This is why I can't stand basketball no more. They don't play
Mm-hmm.
basketball 82 games. They sit out low management. But then when the playoffs come now you want to play. These
now
last
you
couple
want
of
to go
games,
ahead. Yeah, yeah.
this
Yep.
series is weekend. This series is weekend. All the games that we can except for Memphis and OKC.
Okay. See.
What was this mentality all year long? You wait, Nick,
Mm-hmm.
Michael Jordan them era. You know this, Eugene yourself. In them eras, you earned everything that you got on the court, even on the football
Mm-hmm.
field. You earned everything you got. These guys, these athletes nowadays are privileged. They play for the name on the back of the jersey instead of the front of the jersey. They don't play for the city. They don't play for the love of the game no more. It kills me. You wait till postseason. Now you want to turn it up and be. What was this 82 games in basketball? Football players are saying to me, I can go on and on about it. I'm not going to do it because I can rant all day, but I know you got somewhere to go. I want to say thank you. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Like I say, have a safe flight to Green Bay. I will be texting you. If I stop texting you too much, just say, Mike, stop texting me. But I just want to know from ins and out if you heard anything because I love this time of the year.
No, so no. When I get down there, Lord willing, when I get down there, I'll I'll be around all the. Since I'm in part of the media, I'll be
Mm-hmm.
down there with all the happenings at the NFL experience at the draft
Mm-hmm.
itself, and so I'll have access to those players once they end up
Mm-hmm.
getting drafted and whatnot. So it's going to be great. Here's the great thing about the draft: their lives are going to change dramatically. Everyone
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
that first round, and even the guys in that second round, their life is going to change dramatically. All right.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
And then, beside the money, all that stuff, everybody still loves the game because they played it as a kid. And they
Mm-hmm.
like that there's an inner thing that you have. So you're going to want to shine. I'm saying, hey, keep an eye on Shador. Keep an
Mm-hmm.
eye on Travis Hunter.
Mm-hmm.
Two
Mm-hmm.
dudes out of Colorado, when they was at Jackson State, when they go to Colorado, I think there's something to go ahead and prove to the entire world. I
Mm-hmm.
don't. I just feel that way. Something to prove to the
Mm-hmm.
entire world, and I think being Dion being the coach and Dion being the dad, this and that, I
Mm-hmm.
think there's like a strike against them, this and that.
Yes.
I just think so a little bit. Whether that's true or not, I think it's maybe a strike against them. But I think the
Mm-hmm.
intestinal fortitude and what I've seen from those two people, I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, I want them on my team. I know one
Mm-hmm.
thing. Deion Sanders has a problem. He has a problem replacing
Yep.
those two young
You
men
ain't never
on that
lied.
team because the
You never
production
lied.
they got was huge. Was huge.
Mm-hmm.
But like I say, man, thank you so much, Mr. Eugene. We're
hmm
not gonna
Thank
hold
you.
no more of the time.
Okay, well, hey,
But
I'm good, my brother.
we
Hey,
definitely gonna say,
I'll text you, and we'll be texting, dog.
hey,
All
but you
right.
be
Peace.
safe,
Have
man.
a
Have a
safe
great
flight.
flight, man. Be good, man.
All right,
Talk to you.
love you,
Peace
my
out.
dog. All right, y'all
All
take
Thank you.
right,
care.
Love you
man.
too.
All right.